Hi, I'm Amy, thank you for tuning in. I've started really enjoying doing deep dive reviews of individual books, and quite often they seem to be adult horror books for some reason, which is a genre that I'm really enjoying at the moment. So I decided to do one of these reviews of Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. Josh is an author that has just become an insta-buy author for me. He's also a super lovely person who I've met a few times at book events. Josh started off as a YA author, then he wrote a great adult fantasy called The Shadow Glass, which you should definitely read if you're a fan of things like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, any 80s kids like me, basically, and anyone else who wants a rip-roaring fantasy adventure that tears along at a great pace, has amazing characters, and it has some cool horror elements too, which Josh has leaned into in his next two books. Burn the Negative, which is a great book for horror movie fans, is about a kind of cursed film from the past that gets remade, I think. It's a while since I've read it. Please check the blurb. Sorry, Josh. It's such a good book. I had a great time reading it. And this one, Josh's writing has just gone from strength to strength. I love the last one, and I think I love this even more. So Heads Will Roll is set as summer camp for adults who have been cancelled. So they've been, usually on social media, people have gone after them and they've gone to a summer camp for a little bit of quiet time away from their phones, and then they can return to their normal lives, except they can't because some of them start getting murdered. That is kind of the plot in a nutshell. I won't do any spoilers of it. So let's delve into the stuff that I loved about this book. It has mixed media in it, like Josh's other books, which I just really enjoy. I'm not going to show you actually because there's a bit of a spoiler in this one. It has little extracts of text threads. It has little extracts from articles online, and it just adds an extra dimension to his books, I think, and a little bit of extra richness that makes it feel real. I absolutely love the slasher elements. As soon as I was reading this, I messaged Josh and said, can I please interview, because I need to learn from you. Josh is really, really good at creating a real feeling of dread as you know, as you're watching a horror film and the music is playing and it sends a shiver down your back, and you can see the character walking into a situation, there's a jump scare. It's hard to achieve that in horror because you don't have the same visual and auditory techniques in a horror novel that you can use in a film, but Josh just creates these really chilling scenes where you dread that something is going to happen. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that some chapters are written from the first person and then some chapters are written from the third person, and the third person ones generally are the ones where you'll find the delicious slashery horror. So that was great. The horror element I think was done really, really well. There's plenty of bloodshed, which is what I want in a slasher, let's be honest. Also the characters, I think quite often where slashers can fall a little flat is if you don't love the characters. I think some of the joy of a slasher to watch is to kind of have a cast of horrible characters and to see them getting picked off one at a time. But in this, you care about the characters and you get to know them and you really like them. And some of them, one in particular, I did message Josh afterwards and said, how could you? I really like that when an author is prepared, like think Game of Thrones, absolutely nobody is safe. I love that in a slasher. I think it's really bold to write really beautifully crafted characters with backstories, with kind of rich, realistic feel to them, and then just start picking them off one at a time. It was great. So in summary, I just think that Josh's writing is great. His books are impossible to put down for me. The mixed media works so well, the slasher elements. Josh's knowledge of film is so good. He used to be a film reviewer. I'm not sure whether he still does that or not, but you can tell that Josh absolutely loves horror and knows loads about it and just has poured all this knowledge of tropes and horror references into this. It was just great for a slasher fan, which I think is my favourite horror subgenre. It was just absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend. One of the best books I've read. Definitely this year. I'm trying to think the last couple of years. There's very few books I've enjoyed as much as this. So please add this one to your TBR. It is awesome if you like the kind of things I've discussed so far. Thank you so much for watching. As always, likes and subscribes are really appreciated. Let me know in the comments if you are planning to read this book, if there's any books that you think I should do a deep dive review of. As I said, I'm really enjoying adult horror, so if you have any recommendations for me, please drop them there too. Thank you for watching. Likes and subscribes, as always, are appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!